Hi, welcome to the garden again. And I'm going to do something I get a lot of requests about. People want me to talk about building a grid, and not just from the pretty shapes and where you have to go get a lot of elaborate stones. But what if you just went, I'm going to show you what I've got here. What if you just went to the rock shop and picked up a bunch of stones, some of which may or may not be dyed, some which are just funny river stones that have been tumbled and made into pretty things, just all different sorts of colors. And then how do you make decisions about what to put on your grid if you just want to make a grid about something? So what we are going to decide to do for this is to, and I thought I had it right here. Oh, well, so much for what I thought I had right here. We're going to pull a card from Astrology reading cards. And what we're going to do is we're going to get an idea. We're going to build a grid around whatever idea comes out of these cards. Now, these cards are planet, signs, and houses. And they're lots of fun. I'm going to move the little thing because I'm not that steady at shuffling with these kind of big cards. So. A shuffle, but we're going to do one more. And we're going to pull a thing about Pisces. Now, this what it says on this card about Pisces: energy is wistful, endlessly loving, compassionate, forgiving. It confuses and can sometimes soften the resolve that you have when you're working with it. So that's what we're going to start to work with. That's the energy we're going to be working with. And I think that'll be fun. I have two Pisces suns. I think Pisces are fun. So I'll look in these stones and say, now, one of the other things I know about Pisces is they're kind of a watery sign. So I always start from the center. I think if you get in your center and you feel, and you get a strong feeling from that point, it makes it easier to work with the numbers and to set the things out. Now, 1 is a prime number, and it is the definition of prime number. Prime numbers are numbers like 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. Those are the ones you're going to run into in gridding. It's also 13 and 17. And what it means is that these numbers are only divisible by 1 or themselves. So 1 or that number. And you can see that a lot of those, with the exception of 4, 2, 3, 5, 7, so 4 and 6, 4 is a double 2. It's a double the duality, or it's a coming together for building a base. And 6 is the number 3 doubled. And so it's like the definition of 3 is it signifies upper, middle, and lower earth, keeps the world communicating. Thinks it's a triangle, so think communication works well in a 3. It's got some keywords for that we all know, but like Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. I mean, there's just lots of trios of words you can find in the world. So we're going to be thinking about starting with a 1, and the 1 is the unnamed one, God, Great Spirit, Source, Creator. To the Lakota Sioux, the 1 meant all of my relations. They saw all the people in the world within that sphere. And our definition that we're working with is energy that's wistful, endlessly loving, compassionate, forgiving, softens your resolve. So I'm going to find I'm not going to pick a stone like this, I don't think, for the center of this, because that would be like if we had an earth sign or a grounded sign. I think I'm going to pick that pretty blue one that I found. And I'm going to put it in the middle. And that's sort of the beginning of our seeking out the definition. Now, it says endlessly loving, compassionate, forgiving. Now, the other numbers we're going to work with on this grid are 2s, duality of existence, seen, unseen, heaven, earth, good, evil, father, sky, mother, earth, yin and yang. So I'm going to try and find, when I go for putting a 2 on this thing, I'm going to try and find some 2 stones that balance each other. And I think I'm going to go Metlife, almost rosy quartz. And what's sort of the opposite of that? Pink. I think I'm going to do green, because pink and green actually go together, and they are part of the heart chakra. So now I've put my 2 on here. And then 3, as I already discussed, shamanic things that works with communicating. And it says that this is endlessly loving, compassionate, and forgiving. It confuses and softens, things resolves, but it doesn't mean that you don't have any resolve. It just means it's going to temper the resolve. So, and then 4, the number 4 in balance is the Tibetan. I'm going to use the Tibetan signification of 4, which is also somewhat shamanic, where 2 equivalent lines intersect on an equal pair. So am I going to do my 2? I'm going to do these 2 here, and we'll move them a little closer in. I'm going to find another kind of odd pairing of the red and the black. That's grounding. This to me is like the blue of communication, and this to me, and this is actually green. Is that green? No. This one's green. Okay. The green and the pink are the heart, and this is the base chakra, or this could be the base chakra, but the base is often seen as red. And we will, and then we have the root chakra. Those 2 can symbolize the root chakra. So now we've got the heart and the root. In my stones here, I don't have really good cards that would do for solar plexus and sacral chakra, but yeah, I do. I got this one for sacral. Put you over here so you kind of contrast that. This is sacral. So this is going to be this is going to be a trio. So I'm going to put sacral chakra, crown chakra. It's going to come out as 3. And then the third one's going to be over here. Sacral, crown, and I got throat there, kind of. I'm going to do this for another crown chakra. So now I've got kind of all the chakras worked in this. I've got the meanings of endlessly loving. Now you look at these stones and say, which of these stones says endlessly loving to me? I don't know that I find one, but I do find some that say, I'm going to ground this grid to the earth. Okay. Now, if I was just sort of sitting around saying, I'm going to look at some crystals and I'm going to throw them together and I'm going to make them work for a grid, that would be a grid you can build out of just plain old stones. This sack of stones costs $7-8 at the place I go to. And you can kind of come up with an idea and say, okay, I want to bring that reality into my life. And you can sit down and decide just by color what to put in. And I think I'd probably build out one more layer here, because they're both kind of blue and green stones. And I think of blue and green when I think of Pisces. And I think of how that grows. So that would be how I would lay out the Pisces stones, the stones to match that description. The energy is wistful. It's mental. It's endlessly loving. It's got some nice, warm, rosy colors. It has things of compassion. It's forgiving. And it's grounded to the earth, but it's not boom, earth. Okay, I'll try this. Everybody see what that looks like, okay? And this is the infamous pie plate that I build all my grids on with the mandala underneath that I'm interested in. let's pull one more sign or one more planet or one more thing to see if we come up with kind of a different answer. I'm going to hold on to the box and the cards and everything else. Okay, move this over. This is for all you folks who want to learn how to build grids. This is my thought process on how to build the grids. There's lots of books out there on how to build grids. And there's a lot of people who will sell you pre-made mandalas. And there's some that sell them on wood or metal, and you can have it and change it to match what you're looking to do. So we're going to see. A house card. Okay. Oh, good. This will be a complete contrast to Pisces in many ways. This is the 10th house. And I'll write in my description below what deck I'm using to pull these cards from. It's a really fun deck if you want to learn astrology, kind of a quick course to just get used to the very basic terms. So what I'm going to try to imagine into this pie plate is your achievements and status in the outside world. That's the 10th house. That's Capricorn, which we just had all the planets go through, where they shook everything up, where it's all status, status, status. So we're going to find a stone on here that says to me kind of status. And what I like is this one's got sort of goldy shades in the center. Can you see that? There's some gold and some things running through it. So it's got gold in the center. And then when I think about achieving things, a duality in achievement is, I think we can go to my earthy stones here because earthy, yeah, you are, but they can be dark because of this sign. I'm going to balance the two darks against the two light that show earth. So Capricorn makes things concrete. And my impression of, well, it's Capricorn, it's Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo are the three fixed signs. And Taurus, they say, invents it. Virgo juju's it up, fixes it up so that it's all functioning and pretty and looks good. And then Capricorn's the sign that takes it, makes it valuable by making it a designer item, something people really want. So that's Capricorn's, part of Capricorn's rule and reason to be in the world. But Capricorn also has a certain element of fire and igniting people. So I'm going to try to find two stones. I found this one and I found this one. And you see there's actually fire in this stone. So I'm going to put those to be part of the fours. You know, I'm using a lot of 4 here because I want to use the shamanic idea of things intersecting in equal pairs. And I'm going to have some blue, some dark blue, because I think dark blue always sort of, maybe it's because I'm so used to men's suits, but dark blue sort of always reminds me of, I actually have another completely dark blue, always sort of reminds me of stability and that sort of a feeling. It's just, this is how colors impress me. Blue is also the communication. So what we've put on here is communication chakras. We've put on the, this could actually be a pretty good representation of, not the orange that's in the sacral chakra, but the orange that can be in there. And actually what I think I'm going to do is blend it with this, going to put purple against purple, the regal colors, the red, the blue, and that kind of dynamic mixture of colors. Now, it says your achievement in the outside world. Well, we put the earthly things here. And so I'm not going to be terribly looking for something that's terribly soulful, but I do want to look for something that says green like money. And I have that one has green in it. Those turn blue when you hold them up here. Okay, these are going to be my green stones. This one has a lot of green on the top of it. You can't see it probably that well. And that one just came out to be flat ass blue. Wait a minute, that's not going to work. I want green. I think that one's closer to green. Okay. The other points are going to be green. So what I've worked in the elements here is because Capricorn's a very basic place. It's a place where bases are built. 4s are very basic numbers, and they are where we build our base. If you understand numerology, 1 is the independent or the beginning. 2 is the duality and balance. So I have 2 earthly things balancing it. 4 are your base, how you build your base. And the 2s that are reflected in the 4 pieces I've put in here that are really kind of combined are, the way I'm looking at it, they reflect something that you need to build the base you want to build to be that kind of successful. And I think at that point, I think that grid's done. It would be done. And it would have an explanation as to the numbers and the balance and the colors. And those are just plain old stones. I'm going to give this one more shot and see what we can find. And go back to the same deck. The pipe light again, get the 10th house out of there. Let's see what we got going. Oh, Venus. So we're going to do Venus. And I can tell you that the sender is going to be the description of Venus is part of you desires beauty and success, desires beauty, success, indulgent and valuables. That's what Venus kind of holds. And so part of us desires success. So which one of these stones do I think is going to bring down the vibration of success? And she, in that picture, she just has a lot of red around her, but she's also got some purple. So that's a reddish purple. And that would have something to do like feelings from the heart, which is the other thing Venus is related to. And then Venus is always bringing dualities together. So this is going to be kind of a funny duality. This is going to be air and emotions. They're purple, blue communications, help you communicate your own emotions. And then odd shaped purple, because that's sort of the regal number, and things that are valuable and kind of feel indulgent. And then I'm going to put in between them the 4 stones I've sort of decided look more earthy. Yeah, this one instead of that one. Look more earthy. And then I'm going to put some water around it, because Venus, to me, implies a lot of emotion. So I'm going to put some watery colors around it. So blues, purple. This little gem, I really like this guy. I mean, when you can see this with the red up, it's a really impressive stone. And we're going to put air, water. There's another water. And this stone sort of looks like water. So he's going here. And this one's going here. Let's see if I like that one it's laid out. No, I think I'm going to switch those out. I'm going to switch this watery out with this one. Nope, that's too close to the other one. It's kind of watery looking. Maybe I just want to get the 2 blues away from each other. That's what I wanted to do. You can see I kind of move them around till I feel happy with them. Now, that time I put, one of these is wrong with that one, because, wait a minute, 1, 2, 3. Okay, there we go. That's why you use a grid underneath, so that when your numbers get off, because I put 6 down. Now 6, remember, is 3 plus 3, which is communication and harmony. what 3 and 3 is, the 6 is the number of harmony, hearth, home, that ultimate real balance that you'd want to find. So that would be, with just the stones I've got there, that would be the best impression I think I can do of Venus. I'm sure someone out there thinks they can do better, because there always is. And you may be right, because I remember I told you when I started reading about gridding, I read about it and none of it made sense to me. And I said, no, I can do a better job than that. I built my own grid and made it work. So now for some happy camper that's watching this show, I want you to comment below, I'd like a try. And in 1 week, I am going to send this bag of rocks to whatever that person is. I'll tell you when I pick the name, I will tell you how to get a hold of me so you can get your rocks. But this is just a fun bag of rocks. I saw it at the store. I usually don't use tumbled agates unless I just really need them for the color. And so if you think you can try, and then I would like whoever wins to take a picture of whatever grid you come up with and tell us what elements or what you started from. Doesn't have to be a planet, doesn't have to be anything else. It can just be a saying you saw that you thought moved you and you wanted to bring it forth into a concrete form. But what I will send you is the stones. You can go online and find these grid forms for free, and go to Google and Google sacred geometry, and you will find a ton of them. And you can pick the form you want, because this may not be your cup of tea. But I'd like to help someone else get moving in the gridding business. But that's how I deal with gridding. That's how I deal with color and stones and form, because when I first started, I didn't have all of the crystals that I have since developed behind me. I had not read that much. I had not kept notebook after notebook after notebook. And I literally took them out to go over it with someone, and they were like, whoa, you've got all that. So I will write the deck I used to do this. You can find, when you talk about the numbers and what they mean, you can look them up, either Google sacred geometry meaning of and put a number in, and develop your own dictionary, your own definition of it. Mine's really easy. 1 is an individual, 2 is duality, back and forth, an exchange of energy. 3 is creating the ultimate form in geometry, the triangle, and creating balance. And because energy moves so well in a triangle, it's known for communication. And 4 is the base. That's what I used. But if you want to use the 5 or the 7, I'm going to tell you right now, laying down 5 and 7 in a grid is a challenge. But if you want that challenge, just let me know, and I will have these stones ready to go, and I will announce the person next week. I'm going to give you guys, this is going up on the, I don't know what day it is, the 5th. So it's going up on the 5th, and on the 10th, I'll pull numbers. So if you had a friend who's interested in this, and what is this, you talk about crazy ass grids and what all this stuff, you can have them come over here and they can kind of take a quick look at it. And a lot of it is just putting the stones down and playing with them and seeing how you feel about the different shapes and forms. And that's without going out and spending an arm and a leg on a bag of, a box of rocks, as I would put it. Anyway, I look forward to that. Remember, if you want a reading, I do those. You can go to my website, crystaldirection, that's with an S.com, and it lists all the services I provide. There's also pictures of my fully formed, done because of a certain method I use, grids that are for very interested reading reasons. And I also talk about the different kinds of readings I do. I do what's going on around you for the next 3 months, which I think is a very useful reading to get. I also do past lives, which can be an equally interesting thing for you to get. And, you know, we can discuss past lives. And a reminder, I'm going to be taping a show with Bethrobe, Danny Shea, he's going to be his bathrobe, but he's going to be not in my house. And we're going to be talking about past life readings and how he developed his past life reading, how I developed my past life reading. I'm also going to be taping a show with a lovely artist named Ursula, who's come up with some really dynamic ways to use the astrologic chart and crystals to start placing your intentions in something concrete. We're going to talk about that. I built a grid for her last December, I think, and she has some interesting things to say about how things have progressed for her since then, which might, you know, for the user, like, what the hell does a crystal do for you? Maybe she can answer it, because I know what a crystal grid did for me and turning me into getting really interested in it, building for other people. But if you want to see how you can be empowered by one, tune in when Ursula's on. And that's kind of it for the reading today. And I look forward to seeing you later in the week. Take care. Bye.